Today I'm going to walk you through why I love using dialectical behavior therapy for teenagers who are struggling with self-harm. Hey, I'm Mallory Grunst. I'm a teen therapist and I love making mental health videos. You already know that I love using dialectical behavior therapy in my counseling work with teens. But do you know how it helps teenagers who struggle with self-harm? I think anybody could benefit from, but it works especially well with teenagers who are struggling with self-harm or suicidal thoughts or behaviors. Dialectical behavior therapy was actually developed to work particularly with people who are chronically suicidal. It's been found to be one of the most effective therapy models used with these people. It makes sense that it would be beneficial for teenagers who struggle with these same areas as well. Helping teenagers learn how to use and implement mindfulness. Mindfulness is the idea of being aware and noticing with an attitude of curiosity rather than judgment. If you're not mindful or aware of your experience or the experiences around you that may impact or influence your mind, your thinking, your thoughts, your behavior, it's going to be really difficult to know how to implement any other strategies moving forward. And I think dialectical behavior therapy does a wonderful job explaining this concept in a really easy to understand way. Another way it helps is by focusing on what's called distress tolerance. This is DBT's fancy way of saying coping strategies or coping skills. Now, being able to tolerate or hang in there through stressful situations or experiences is probably one of the most beneficial ways to help teenagers who struggle with self-harm. That's because self-harm is actually a coping strategy. It's just a really unhealthy one. We call this an maladaptive coping strategy because it is so harmful. So learning healthier ways or strategies that can help you hang in there can be really, really helpful when you're a teenager struggling with self-harm. Now, I do just want to remind you, there's a module in DBT that is dedicated all to emotion regulation. These skills within this module are all about managing your mood swings because, let's be real, you're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, but if we can keep it from going way up and way down and leveling it out a little bit, that's pretty great. So knowing how to plan ahead and take care of yourself along the way is going to go a long way in managing your mood and emotions later. That means you'll be less likely to experience such an intense emotional experience that you might not even want to consider self-harm. How annoying is it when you think that you're being crystal clear and the other person is just not getting or understanding what you're saying? It annoys the heck out of me. That's why I love the interpersonal effectiveness module in dialectical behavior therapy. These skills are all about learning healthy and effective communication strategies. It's not always about being right. It's about being effective for the big goal of why you're even communicating in the first place. Does it really matter if you were late by 2 minutes or 5 minutes last time you went out? Or is it more effective to try to emphasize that you're working on this and doing better if you want to stay out later next weekend? Interpersonal effectiveness helps with that. One of the ways that dialectical behavior therapy has adapted their skill set for teenagers is they have a whole separate module just for teens called Walking the Middle Path. As a teenager, you are walking the middle path between not being a kid, but not quite being a full adult. There are times where you're expected to be responsible, make your own decisions and choices, and then there are other times where your parents need to be consulted or some other authority figure, and it can be really confusing because sometimes your parents or a teacher may want you to check in with them, and other times they want you to take a little more responsibility. Walking the middle path skills can really help teenagers, especially when they're struggling with self-harm, learn how to navigate relying on others and asking for support and help, and relying on themselves to handle their emotions and their experiences on their own. It's not so much a balancing act, it's more of an integrative process. That's what I love about dialectical behavior therapy. They don't really look at things in terms of black and white or up and down or extreme opposites. They try to navigate how all of those things can exist and be true at the same time and being okay with that. I incorporate a lot of dialectical behavioral therapy strategies into pretty much all of my teen girl therapy groups. And if you want a sneak peek behind the scenes of what happens in teen girl therapy group, watch the video on your screen right now. And please make sure you share this video because you never know who it could help. Thanks for watching!